Hi, my name is Caitlin Mauser and I'm a senior mechatronics student at CSI. For my senior capstone, I decided to take upon the challenge of creating an LED table. The purpose of my table was to create a cool table for my dorm room in college and to advance my knowledge of using and programming an Arduino. My proposal originally stated that I was going to create a 12 by 12 square of 144 LEDs, but after much consideration, I decided to create a 24 by 24 square of 576 LEDs. With softball season starting and AP tests coming up, I knew it was going to be a difficult task to complete. However, I managed my time wisely to finish this project. I first began by brainstorming and sketching how I was going to design my table, which soon followed with research on the best parts and materials I would need to build my table. My first step in building this project was by cutting a silver egg crate diffuser into two large squares which would separate the LEDs and efficiently reflect the LEDs in the squares. Once I finished gluing the two cut egg crate diffusers together, I laser cut holes in a panel of wood for the WS2811 LED strip to snap into. After snapping each LED into the proper hole, I ran into the issue that they easily popped out of the holes, which resulted in me having to go back and glue each LED into the proper hole again. I next began to attach the Arduino and power supply to the LEDs so I could begin programming. However, the power was in a daisy chain and not enough power ran to each LED, and I had to solder wires after every 50 LEDs packed to the power supply that it would be in parallel. Programming the table took the longest time to finish because I had to test my code and repeatedly back to fix or change the code. I started programming by designing the different pictures I wanted to display on my table. I used a fast LED library to provide extra functionality for my code. I used arrays and set each LED to a specific color or letter. The first time I completed my code, it was too much memory for my Arduino to hold, so I had to go back and shrink my code and changed it from 88% memory to 33% memory used. In my shortened code, I used a for loop with if statements in it for each color that would then rotate the colors in the background. I then added another for loop with if statements for the letters to be rotated into the display. After finishing the code, I built the table structure and finished it off by staining it. I then placed the LEDs in the table and used brass strips to hold the LEDs in place and then attached a power supply to a grid covering the bottom of the table to contain everything inside the table. I then added a poster board to the top of the LEDs to lessen the brightness of the LEDs and a better visual of the LED display. I finished my table off with an acrylic top. My capstone took a lot of time and effort, but I am proud and glad to say it is finished. Thanks for watching my process of building my senior capstone.